Hello everyone, I am Scriblight, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Based Mama for inviting me to do a guest vid. Okay, guys, I'm gonna level with you. I'm not doing this for the fun of it. I'm under court order to make this video because, given that I have no other marketable skills, contributing to Mama's ad revenue is the only way I can provide for our child. Yes, I am the father.
I am your baby's daddy.
But can you blame me? I mean, have you seen the size of Mama's... Anyway, so you'll be seeing me around here for the next 18 years or so. So yeah, let's get started, because baby needs a new pair of shoes.
I don't have to tell you things are bad.
But you did just tell us that things are bad. In a sidewise fashion, admittedly.
Everyone knows things are bad.
And you did it again. It's almost like you need to convince someone things are bad. Could that someone be yourself?
It's a depression. Everyone's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter.
They've been doing that since the Old West. So does that mean that things have always been bad? God, now isn't that a depressing thought? I suppose you're here to provide a solution?
We know things are bad. Worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in our houses, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and we say, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my TV and my toaster and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone.
Who are we petitioning to be left alone here? Fear itself? Okay, anyway, you're going to give us a way to solve this problem, right?
Well, I'm not going to leave you alone.
So, wait. Are you saying you're the one keeping me isolated and afraid? And sitting in my home? I'm very confused right now.
I want you to get mad.
You want to incite a riot?
I don't know what to do about the depression or the inflation or the crime in the street or the Russians. All I know is first, you've got to get mad.
So you don't have any practical solutions to the problems you've listed. Instead, your go-to initiating step is to retreat into an extreme emotional state? This sounds like a very familiar playbook.
According to Patty Chayefsky's The Network, the key to making change is to get mad.
Did you watch that entire movie? Yes, the most famous bit is the "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore" scene. It's a great scene. But that wasn't the message of the story, at least to me. What you saw on Network was the sincere frustration of a man inspiring a nation, and then that nation being manipulated while they were in a highly emotional state to essentially return back to center, and once again feed the status quo via the illusion of change. Their highly emotional state ultimately made them more malleable. Is that what you're aiming for?
Well, I am mad. I'm mad about something people often look past, whether it be that they simply don't know this issue exists, or that they have the privilege of being able to choose to ignore it.
Ah, the privilege. So, this is a race thing, huh? Proceed.
But for an actor of color like myself, the discrimination I am bound to face cannot be ignored.
You cannot ignore something that has not happened yet, or that might happen. It's almost as if you're being oppressed by fear itself.
Being a part of theater is the best decision I have ever made, and it is definitely something I would like to pursue as a career. But something as meaningless as the color of my skin could cost me that dream. I know my chances of getting a part are significantly less than that of my white counterpart. And I mean significantly.
Aha! This sounds like the point at which we're going to be presented with some facts and figures. I'm all ears.
Look at the Oscars. Out of the 20 actors nominated, every single one was white.
18 of the top 20 NBA basketball players in 2016 are, as you would put it, persons of color. Do you think those 18 are rated so highly because of their skin color, or because of their ability to perform in the vocation they've chosen?
This brings me to colorblind casting. Colorblind casting is when a director casts a show based on ability as opposed to appearance.
A meritocracy is a great thing, unless the part being casted for requires an elderly person, and you're 20, or it requires a man, and you're a woman, or it requires a Latino, and you're white. Great in theory, but it's not always practical when you're casting for parts in movies and plays.
It is a very common practice in theater, but colorblind casting can and should be implemented into all theater and most movie auditions.
I've got a question for you. If colorblind casting were made a rule somehow, how would you know if it were being broken? How would you know someone wasn't selected for their ability rather than their appearance? How do you intend to read minds?
Theater is about the story being told. So if someone can do that story justice, they deserve the part and their race shouldn't matter. For example, Alexander Hamilton was not a Puerto Rican man. But Lin-Manuel Miranda tells his story as though it is his own, and his audience doesn't ask any questions. Movies, on the other hand, are about the facts. In terms of a historical film, accurate casting is crucial because people see these movies assuming that what they're seeing is based on facts.
You just answered your own question. Stage performances, by their nature, require the audience to suspend their disbelief over what they see in front of them, because a stage play is, in part, a theater of the mind. The audience's leeway for what is happening to propel a story is greater than in a movie, where things are far more tell than they are show, mostly.
In terms of a non-historical film, if someone can do a role justice, they deserve the part.
What if the role is for a middle-aged white woman? Would you agree that you would be immediately out of the running for that part?
Colorblind casting doesn't seem all that hard, so why aren't directors and casting directors doing it?
How do you know they're not? How would you know if they were? Are you a mind reader?
Maybe because they think it will be impossible for an audience to believe that a black person could play anything but a stereotype on screen. Or because an interracial couple would look weird. Or something else that implies that a black person would stick out like a sore thumb. A solution to this would be to cast more people of color if you really want to make sure your black actor fits in.
Whoa, wait a sec. Was that sarcasm? Or are you saying casting directors should be hiring on the basis of race now? I'm very confused.
But there's very little motivation on the industry's end to make a change, because they very rarely receive negative results from having an all-white or mostly white cast. They may get criticized, but more often than not, they still get paid.
Should they not be paid for making a marketable product? That doesn't make any sense.
Movies that didn't do so well in box office were Stonewall and Pan, because people noticed these casting inaccuracies and they took action.
The controversy over the film Stonewall had to do with a complaint that non-white figures involved in the historical events were either absent or underrepresented. I'm no historian on the subject, so I can't comment really one way or another. The director of the film, Roland Emmerich, provided his own responses to the outrage, so you can look those up and choose to believe him or not. But let's talk about Pan, because that question is a bit more cut and dry. I can only assume you're referring to the role of Tiger Lily, having gone to Rooney Mara, a white actress, rather than a Native American actress. But didn't you just say...
Colorblind casting is when a director casts a show based on ability as opposed to appearance.
And didn't you also make the point that...
Alexander Hamilton was not a Puerto Rican man. But Lin-Manuel Miranda tells his story as though it is his own, and his audience doesn't ask any questions.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said. Funny how you can't seem to apply this notion to anyone that doesn't happen to look like you.
Good news, Hollywood. You have actors of color. You have black actors. You have Latino actors. You have Latino actors.
You said Latino twice. Is that indicative of unconscious bias?
Native American actors, Egyptian actors, Asian actors, you have actors of every color of the rainbow at your disposal. You need not lie to your audience via blackface or tan white guys.
Blackface? Who in the world would get away with blackface these days? What movie are you talking about? And as far as tan white guys, again, are we talking about hiring people based on their ability or how they look? Which is it?
There is no magic way to fix racism in this industry. And I don't know a sure way to solve this problem.
Then what on earth are we doing here?
But if we want to change the direction we're going in, we have to start asking for more justice, representation, and opportunities for people of color.
Asking? That sounds a bit passive. Didn't you say we had to get mad?
People don't often think about this topic.
Well, again, I'll ask, are you a mind reader?
But I encourage you to start thinking about it, and I encourage you to start speaking up about it, because there are little boys and girls who want to be on Broadway.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
And adults who want to be in movies. But as soon as they realized what the color of their skin meant for the magnitude of their success, they got discouraged.
Who are they? And who elected you to speak for them?
Racism is crushing dreams faster than we can dream them. And I can tell you, it gets so frustrating. It is so frustrating knowing that some people actually think that the same potential, talent, and hard work isn't worth as much when not tied with a white ribbon.
Did you say right ribbon or white ribbon? I guess either one works for your argument.
This idea of superiority based on skin color is not only unfair and dated, but it is wrong.
Yes, indeed it is. But you also understand that in addition to seeing a race as superior, classifying a race as inferior is also racism. Or don't you see that?
My skin doesn't stop me from learning my lines, from working hard at rehearsal, or from making a story my own and sharing it with my audience. I am not the problem.
Yeah, I'm sure that you walking into every audition with a chip on your shoulder, that you standing on a stage and implicitly accusing every casting director that ever has or ever will pass on hiring you for a role as being inherently racist, yeah, sure, you're not your own worst enemy in any way. It's the industry's fault you won't get any work. Bold strategy. Let's see how that works out for you.
Actors of color are not the problem. They are the solution.
Are you talking about the final solution? Yeah? You know that sounded a bit racist, right?
The racism in this industry is the problem. The racist directors are the problem. Woody Allen is the problem. Tim Burton is the problem.
Well, there's at least 2 directors who you'll never work for. I wonder if either of them have any friends in the industry that might take exception to you publicly slandering them.
You? The audience?
Oh boy, here it comes.
You are the solution. You need to say, I am mad as hell and I am not going to take this anymore.
You need to be extremely emotional on my behalf so people will hire me based on the fear of bad PR. Maybe you did watch Network all the way through.
I am mad as hell and I am not going to take this anymore. Are you?
I wonder what you're going to do at your next audition if you don't get the part. I can almost see it now. Anyway, that's all, everyone. A sincere and true thank you to Based Mama for allowing me to have a guest spot on her channel. And anyway, thanks for watching.